Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Ings. Today we are at DGDG in San Jose, California. And Ted, what an incredible time to talk about how Fixed Ops is a profit engine.
That's right. I want to introduce the folks who are up here on the panel with us, Sarah. If you would give us your first and last name and what you do, starting here with James.
James Grogan, Executive Vice President, Dynatron Software.
Service Director at Subaru. My name is Rick Wade.
William McCurry, I'm the Vice President of Fixed Operations for DGDG.
Gary Ambrosini, Parts Manager for Team Chevrolet Cadillac Mazda.
Maureen Martin, Vice President, Strategic Alliances for Dynatron Software.
Well, Maureen, want to start with you because with shrinking vehicle margins and rising operating costs, how have you seen the role of Fixed Ops change for dealerships over the last few years?
Last few years, well, I kind of go back 40 years when I started here in the California, here in San Jose, actually, with Ford Motor Company. And, you know, when I think back to that time, you'd go into a dealership, and if you were fixed operations, you didn't even come into the variable side. So when you really look at how much the industry has really evolved, I mean, honestly, today we've been talking about, you know, privilege this morning with Jeremy Beaver, talking, if you just spend 3 minutes with him, you understand how critically important it is for it to be a seamless experience for the guest so that they see that we're here for them. And that has really changed. And it only starts at the top and then it filters down through the whole organization. When you're here at DGDG, you can just feel the energy. It doesn't matter what department you go into. You really see that it's really filtering through, because if you don't have that, then you really can't make fixed operations a profit engine. I think we talked, William, of the 1,100, 600 of them are on the fixed operations side, and 300, which are my heart, which are the technicians. And when you really look at how everybody works together, I've seen that be the biggest change, is that it's really the whole dealership, not one department or siloed than the other.
Yeah. William, really, as Maureen mentioned, unthinkable we'd even be doing a fixed operations conference like this, you know, even just a few 5-10 years ago. Okay. So with that, William, how have you leveraged competitive market data like franchise and aftermarket to improve your service advisors' confidence, resulting in increased profitability and customer retention?
Yeah, I mean, I think first, you know, Ted, people like you that bring fixed ops to the forefront. I mean, I think over, you know, the recent years, that's been something that's helped us grow as that side of the business because of that visibility. But I think I would say is our big thing at a dealership is we generally aren't going to be the cheapest in anything that we offer, but having an understanding that maybe we're not as expensive as maybe we might think or the customer might think, and then building the value in what we're doing, it enables our teams to feel more confident in what they're doing. And, you know, like we talk about all the time about having the data, you know, the same data that I use for, you know, how we should price things, that same data is invaluable for the advisors to be able to sell the value in what we're offering to our guests.
And Rick, thinking today about margins, this is quite the conversation that a lot of dealerships are having. Looking at their businesses, what are some of the most common operational or pricing inconsistencies that are quietly eroding those fixed ops margins in dealerships today?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing is discounts. You know, I look at it as there's two different kind of discounts. You know, we have the ones that we send for our marketing for inactive customers or lost customers, which we're offering coupons, which has given us a second time to be able to build value and hopefully get these people in our drive long term, which I believe those are acceptable. But then there also are behavioral discounts, which at the end of the day, those are just habits of discounts people just have given for a long period of time. You know, the way that we fix those is one of our key actions is we review ROs. And, you know, while we're looking for warranty compliance, bar compliance, we're also looking for discount compliance. As we're reviewing those ROs and we see that there are those discounts of certain people, we have those crucial conversations in the morning first thing when we do see them to let them know. So as time goes on, they know that we're watching them. There's the awareness. And as time goes on, those start to stop, which obviously it decreases the discounts.
Gary, I want to come over to you. What's something that you couldn't see before that you changed in how you operate and improved your warranty, labor, and parts markup under California AB 179?
Well, I thought I understood really well looking at financials and looking at reports so that I understood the margins. And really, when you dig down into it, you don't. You need help. Manufacturers more and more are fluctuating costs. Sometimes the cost goes up and the MSRP goes down. So for us, it's more important to understand the market pricing. So what is the market pricing? So for us, with the help of Dynatron and our coach, Donnie, he's done really well at pinpointing where we're missing opportunities, how we can fluctuate. I run over 20 sources now just for my parts so that I can maximize my profit margin based off of what we learned with Donnie. And it's been very successful. So
James, I want to follow up on this because, there's a lot of conversation around how Dynatron is helping dealerships. What are the clear signs that a dealership has moved from status quo to a true operational agility with a performance advantage?
It's data. They make data-driven decisions. They review the data. They understand their market. They move from that, gut check or I think or I should, and they really understand, to your point. They look at their reporting. They look at their data, and they go, this is where the market is going. And they actually then act and then make the decision to be that market leader, like we see with the DG stores.
And just to build on that, what Rick said is, really being able to understand the compliance, but it's really about identifying, is it a knowing issue or is it a doing issue? Because that's a very different coaching situation. But when you have the data at your fingertips, it allows you guys to do your gifts, and that is really to develop your people. And so I think when you combine that with the data driven, that's where we've seen such great, incredible growth here at DGDG.
William, how important is it to your growth and continued growth to have an outside coach, if you will, like Dynatron, helping you and looking at the data and perhaps giving you some insights that some folks in your team may not even be aware of?
Yeah, I mean, I could say with confidence we probably wouldn't have had the growth that we've seen in the last 4 or 5 years without that help and that guidance. I think, sometimes when you're in the weeds, it's kind of a you can't see the forest through the trees type thing. And so when you get somebody who can take that 30,000-foot view for you and give you the snapshot, but then also help you get into the weeds. We've all been on calls where Donnie's been on with us, and we do RO by RO by RO to really understand, like, this is the one that caused the erosion in this sample, and like, this is the one that you need to focus on. And so, both of these gentlemen can attest, we've had a tremendous amount of success with that level of drill down with the data that they've provided, to be able to make the adjustments that we needed to make to increase our overall profitability. I mean, it's been wildly successful.
So, James, your team at Dynatron actually helps them, as William just said, drill down even to the RO, okay, the individual one, and see where some of that erosion is taking place.
Yeah, absolutely. Visibility is key. And, having a performance coach that's been in the industry, that has those best practices and understands that the performance level recommendations, once again, service leaders, parts leaders, you're running 100 miles an hour a day. And so to have somebody be able to step back and just give you a couple actionable insights and actionable pieces of the data, it really is a partner in your success.
Well, and Gary said it, right? It's a small incremental change for an exponential result when you look at the volume that you do, like in a group like DGDG. So
These pieces are so important, Ted. Fixed operations is the profit engine, and dealerships need to be focusing on it.
That's right. I'm Ted Ings with Sarah Vantine. We are here in San Jose, California at DGDG, and we're going to be right back.